free this. Let's create a token copy of Uro, just a cantrip. Discard a card, let's discard, I don't know, the Hallowed Fountain, and they're dead. Hello everyone, it's your favorite tuner of narratives. I'm the controller guy and I'm back with another video for you guys. Hey, I'm back. I don't know when this video comes out. Hopefully not another week after the last one, but I can't promise anything. That being said, right back into the grind. Yeah, thank you guys so much for all the engagement on my last video, really appreciated it. Literally I uploaded the video and like within like an hour I already had like 100 views. That was really nice. So really appreciate you guys are amazing. Let's keep it up. I promised last video that the next video is going to be a Bant deck, so let's get right into it. Alright, so for today we are playing Bant. Well, kinda. We're basically playing blue-white, but we're splashing for Uro and Oko as per usual. But today we're playing something different. I did it. I did what I said I'd never do. I crafted Stifles. Like, I said I'd never play this card. I hated this card. This card has been in Timeless for a long time. I think since the beginning of Timeless it's been in Timeless. And it's gotten me quite a few times, and I'm glad no one plays it anymore because this card is so mean. Stifle, counter target activated or triggered ability. So, this card, namesake of the deck today. The reason why this card is so mean is that fetch lands in Timeless are the core of most mana bases. But these are lands with no mana abilities. They only have a singular activated ability that says pay 1 life, sacrifice this land, search your library for a forest or island card or whatever, you know, the land types. Now, the problem about that is that after you've paid the life, your opponent can stifle the trigger and then you don't get a land out of it. And when you basically destroy a land for 1 mana, that's when things get a little stupid. Anyway, if that was the only interaction Stifle had, it probably wouldn't be worth playing in like a control deck. It might be worth in a tempo deck, but not in a control deck. But in this deck, we have a couple other uses for Stifle. The One Ring. This card draws you a lot of cards, but it also kills you. If you have 4 burden counters in your One Ring, yeah, you can draw 4 cards, but in your upkeep you will take 4 damage, and sometimes that's enough to kill you. If you are about to lose to your One Ring, you can draw as many cards as you can with the ring, and if you hit a Stifle and have 1 mana open, which you probably will because it will be your upkeep, you can stifle the damage trigger of the One Ring. Pretty cool stuff. You can also stifle draw triggers of your opponent's One Ring, which that can be relevant sometimes if you just need to wait for your, you know, Oko to elk their One Ring. You can stifle their draw triggers. What else can Stifle do? Stifle can also stifle Uro's sacrifice trigger, which is actually really cool because if you stack your triggers correctly, when Uro enters the battlefield, well, when any of the Elder Giants enter the battlefield, they create 2 triggers. One is the effect that they give you, and one is the one that checks whether they escaped or not. So because it's 2 separate triggers, what you can do is you can stack it so that you draw a card and put a land into play first, and then you can stifle the trigger that would make Uro sacrifice himself. Now, the reason why Uro specifically is so good with this is that if you have Stifle in hand and Uro in hand on turn 3, and you have an extra land, you can hold priority, let the trigger with the draw card put a land into play resolve, put that land into play, and use that land to stifle Uro into play. So you can cheat Uro into play on turn 3, even though it's a 4 mana play. Really cool interaction. Then we can also stifle Solitude's evoke trigger. So with evoke, you can exile a white card from your hand to cast Solitude for free, but when you do that, it sacrifices itself when it enters the battlefield. Again, these are 2 separate triggers. It exiles and then it sacrifices, so you can have the exile resolve, and then you can stifle the self-sacrifice trigger. So that's really cool. And then, just so that we lean in a little bit more, we have another evoke creature in Nulldrifter. This is a 7 mana 4/4 with Flying Annihilator 1, and when you cast it, you draw 2 cards. But you can evoke it for 2 mana. So what they were thinking when they designed this card, what I think they were thinking, was, okay, let's make it so that you can cycle this card for 2 cards by paying 3 mana, right? However, if we have 4 mana and a Stifle, or we draw the Stifle off of this trigger, because again, 2 separate triggers, one is on cast and one is after it enters the battlefield when you evoked it, you can draw the Stifle and stifle the Evoke trigger to keep this 4/4 Annihilator 1. Now, a 7 mana 4/4 Annihilator 1, that's fairly balanced. But a 4 mana 4/4 Annihilator 1, that's not balanced, because Annihilator 1 is every turn that your opponent has to sacrifice a permanent, because you keep attacking with this thing, and it hits for 4 as well, and it's flying. So yeah, not easy to beat a Nulldrifter when it's on the battlefield. So yeah, that's that. Other than that, we obviously use Stifle to stifle our opponent's land drops, and that's pretty much how this package operates. So we have Stifle Uro, Stifle Solitude, and Stifle Nulldrifter. We can also stifle our own One Ring. We can put Stifles back on top with Mystic Sanctuary if we need to. We have a one-off Tamiyo, because I think Tamiyo Planeswalker is so good that you should probably play it in every control deck, even if it's not the main game plan, it's just that good. Obviously we have the control cards like Brainstorm, Source of Plowshares, Mana Drain. And then we have a small Wrath of the Skies package with 2 Wraths and 1 Tune, and an extra pre-break to wipe the board as well. And that's pretty much the deck. In the mana base, we have a Monumental Henge. This is just a cool card advantage land that you can use in the late game. It basically lets you tap five lands and draw a card. Well, select 5 for the top 5 cards for historic card. Historic cards are legends, sagas, and artifacts. So we can get 5 cards here. We got 2 Okos, 3 Uros, 1 Tamiyo, that's 6 cards in total, 4 One Rings, that's 10 cards in total. So you have 10 hits for your Monumental Henge. That's good enough, in my opinion, to run Monumental Henge. You will hit something eventually if you just tap on every end step in a really grindy matchup. And other than that, it's basically just a plains, so that's okay. We have some Mystic Sanctuaries. We have Boseiju and Forest. Interestingly, you see no basic planes in this deck. If we play against a Harbinger of the Seas or against a Blood Moon, we actually have to. Well, against Harbinger, obviously, you can float a white mana and then source the Plowshares, or you can pitch a Solitude to it. But against Harbinger, your lands are now all blue, so that's fine. If we have our Forest, we can cast most of our deck. We can cast the front of our Ur, we can cast Oko, we can cast all our counter magic, all our cantrips, our One Rings, everything. Everything is castable with 1 blue. The only thing you can't cast is white spells, right? And yeah, the Forest helps you with casting the green spells. And then against Blood Moon, we can still cast, we still have, well, it's a little worse because we have only Island and Forest, but we can use the Forest to Boseiju. You can still cast One Rings, you can still cast Stifles and all your 1-drops. You can still do most of the modes on 3 steps ahead, you just can't counter a spell. So yeah, that's what we're playing 3 steps ahead as well, just an easy to cast spell. When you start creating token copies of your Nulldrifters and putting 3 steps ahead back on top, that's when you're really winning. And other than that, again, 3 steps ahead, I've explained this card a couple times actually, hold on. Let me move my camera. As I was saying, I've explained 3 steps ahead a couple of times already. It's basically just Archmage's Charm, but like a little different. And this one, the reason why I play 3 steps ahead sometimes over Archmage's Charm is specifically in multicolored decks that have more than 2 colors. It's easier to cast because the gray mana obviously isn't triple blue, and also the versatility of in a BANT deck when you're ramping a little bit of Uro, you will eventually have so many lands in play that you can do multiple modes, and the spree cards let you do multiple modes at once, whereas Archmage's Charm is always only 1 mode. And I also think that most of the time, the create a token that's a copy of target artifact creature you control is more relevant than the gain control of target 1-drop your opponent controls. Most of the time. Obviously, if you're gaining control of a Tamiyo Planeswalker, that's insane. But most of the time, copying your One Ring is better than gaining control of an Ocelot Pride. So yeah, that's just my take. I personally think 3 steps ahead and Archmage's Charm are very close in what you want to be playing. The draw 2 cards is better on Archmage's Charm, whereas here you can, for 5 mana, you can counter a spell and draw a discard. It's a very tight thing that you have to figure out what you prefer. Me personally, in more than 3 color decks, I play 3 steps ahead. In 2 color and below, I play Archmage's Charm, just because of castability. That being said, that's pretty much the deck. Nothing much more to say apart from let's win some games by taking over with Oko, and let's get right into the games, shall we? Alright, opponent goes first. This time we have a decent hand. We have Swords, into Mana Drain, and 4 lands. Let's keep it. Lowest lowest companion, so they're probably on some kind of white strategy. Let's kill this now so that if they have a Guide of Souls, they don't get a life off of it. And then let's see how we proceed. Raptor is gonna hit Ajani, always does. Okay, no, they hit Static Prison. They finally whiffed. Okay, we're gonna play this, pass a turn. See if they want to put anything into this. Goblin Bombardment, I will be countering that. Goblin Bombardment is a must counter permanent in, I'll counter it off of a Hallowed Fountain. Goblin Bombardment is a must answer permanent. This card will single-handedly defeat you. Do they go like land drop Ocelot Pride? No, they go tap land. Okay, sure. I get 2 mana here. Not too bothered. I think... Yeah, I'm gonna Brainstorm first. Is that a Stifled Uro? That's a Stifled Uro, right? That's a Stifled Uro, right? Because if I put this and this on top, put the island on top, play the forest, full control, play Uro, resolves, draw a card, put a land into play, with that land, stifle the Uro trigger. There we go. That's a Stifled Uro. Looking good, looking good. Monumental Henge into Guide of Souls. Interesting. So they think they can grind against me? That's very interesting. Well, they think they can grind in the current format. That's very interesting. They just have the second Static Prison in hand. I will say that's a little lucky, but I don't mind, because I have the Wrath of the Sky, so I'm going to get everything back here. Gonna get everything back here. So next turn they're gonna buy Lurrus. I'll just Wrath for 2. Auto pay. That's why I fetched the Hallowed Fountain earlier, so I have double white. Destroy everything. I get my Uro back. And then next turn I can bring Uro back from the graveyard as well. In Spara's headquarters. Pass a turn. Now they basically have to buy Lurrus. Yep. Another Uro. I'm gonna fetch Mystic Sanctuary. I have a mana drain down there, right? Yep. Mana drain on top. Yep. All the mana drain. Now they're not gonna want to play Lurrus into that. Yep, hold it. And now I have Uro with mana drain available. I'll keep that in there. I'll keep the Wrath in there in case I need to put it back on top with a Mystic Sanctuary. But yeah, now they're just getting Uro'd. They're just getting outvalued by Uro. They can Swords this Uro, I don't care. Oh, they can go like Discharge it? Sure, I don't care. That's just going back to the graveyard where it's gonna come back. I drew a card off of this. That's card disadvantage for them. There's a 1 ring, so I can ring whenever I want to. Never gonna tap out mana drain this game. They have Monumental Henge now, which is fine. It's not as much card advantage as I'm gaining. I'm just gonna do this now. See if they have another removal spell. They do. That's fine. If the hand is only removal spells, first of all, this taps them out of Monumental Henge. Second of all, actually I can even counter this. I'm not going to, but I'm allowed to counter it, because if I draw a land, I have another counterspell. But I'm gonna let this resolve. I don't care. Like, I'm ahead. Like, I'm still just drawing cards anyway. I don't need a Tamiyo Planeswalker to win the game here. That's fine. Let's put the ring on top under a Source of Plowshares. Over a Source of Plowshares. Is there anything I want from my graveyard? Yeah, I'll just put Wrath of the Skies back on top so that just to be inevitable. Yep, double mana drain available. And the more they just hold this Lurrus back, the more they're actually losing, because I'm gonna just accrue more and more counter spells. I could cast the 1 ring. Yeah, I'm gonna use this 3 steps ahead. to draw 2 cards, discard a card. I could have used it to counter and draw 2, discard 2, but I'm not too bothered. I'm going to discard the swords because I'm drawing another one. Gonna play the One Ring. Yeah, I can't have answers for all my value permanents, can you? Could have played Uro there too, but I'm just gonna play the One Ring here. Back to 21 life. I drew my land drop. Now I have double mana drain open again. They're just so behind because they decided not to play that Lurrus. Yeah, that's just I don't care. Like Monumental Henge is great and all, but they should have played Lurrus that turn where they could have they had to. Like they're never gonna resolve it anyway, so they might as well chuck it into a mana drain. Yeah, sure. Look for a card. They whiffed. Their deck is playing, I believe, 4 Ajanis, and that's it. Gonna use the mana drain that they know about, and then they're gonna think, oh look, he used this mana drain, and then I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna mana drain Lurrus. I'm not even gonna mana drain Lurrus. What can Lurrus even do? Lurrus could get back Goblin. No, Lurrus could get back an Ocelot Pride. I'm not even going to. I'm not even gonna kill Lurrus here. I'm not even going to. I'm gonna save this mana drain for anything after Lurrus. So they get an Ocelot Pride here, I don't care. They could get a Static Prison if they're feeling really spicy. They get a Guide of Souls, sure. Gonna kill Lurrus. They should have gotten Pride for sure, because Pride at least makes more bodies. But again, they're dead as hell here. I'm gonna just cast this for the 2 gray mana that I have. Gonna pay 1, kill that. Draw some cards. Play Uro. I'm out of Mystic Sanctuary, so now I can start exiling spells. Yeah, it's over. Get banted. And I'm gonna keep I'm actually gonna keep this because I want to get rid of the Monumental Henge eventually. So I'm just gonna keep this Boseiju in my hand. I still have mana drain available. They don't even know that I have 2 mana drains. Ajani, yeah, let's not have that. Let's not do that, man. And they're dead. And that's why I'm just gonna Nulldrifter as well. So then they have to start sacrificing a permanent every turn. So this turn looks pretty simple. I'm not gonna bank on countering anything. I'm just gonna play Nulldrifter for 7, and then Boseiju their Monumental Henge, attack them with Uro, and then they're just losing every turn. Every turn they're taking damage, sacrificing a permanent. So yeah, this deck kind of eats Boros alive. If you have a good opening hand against them, it's pretty hard for them to do anything about you. Yeah, as long as you have turn 1 removal for their 1-drop and then turn 2 counterspell for their whatever, you're fine. They basically get to slip 1 2-drop past you if they're on the play. If they're on the draw, they don't even get that. Because the thing is, with this deck, with this version of control, with like the way I build control decks right now, it's turn 1 Swords to Plowshares, turn 2 mana drain, turn 3 Wrath of the Skies with the mana drain mana, right? And this deck just can't come back from that. They just can't. It's too much for them. Like, yeah, they were on the play, so they got an Amp Raptor through. And if the Amp Raptor had hit something good, that would have been good for them. But other than that, it's like I would have still ended up countering, even if the Amp Raptor hit Ajani, right? They were still tapped out. I would have still countered the Goblin Bombardment. They would have played a tap land, and then I would have Wrath of the Skies everything away. So it didn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter what they have. The control is built to beat this. And this only wins against control if you keep a hand with Source of Plowshares, and they end up turn without Source of Plowshares. They have a turn 1 Ragavan. Now the thing is, the reason why I hate the format so much right now, and sorry for ranting so much. Like, I don't know if you like this. I have time slots for the next game anyway, so you just skip to that if you don't want to watch this. But the reason why the format sucks right now is that the hands that are great against this deck are absolute garbage against Show and Tell. A hand with 1 Source of Plowshares and 1 Wrath of the Skies is basically a mulligan to 5 against Show and Tell, right? Or against Oopsal Spells, or against turn 1 Sorin Saint Elenda. It's a mulligan to 5 because like your Swords of Plowshares and your Wrath of the Skies do basically nothing in that matchup. So yeah, that's why the format sucks, because the hands with Brainstorm, double mana drain, those are really good against the combo decks, but they will just die to this deck. And the hands with Swords of Plowshares are really bad against the combo. Anyway, that's enough ranting from me. Let's move on to the next game. Force of Negation would fix that a lot, but it's okay. Awkward. Okay, opponent goes first. We have 2 non-green lands and 2 green cards in our hand. Opponent goes first. I don't know what they're playing. This hand has no removal, which is very sketchy. Chimera card sleeves, are there a creature deck? I think I mulliganed once. Yeah, this hand is better, right? Yeah, this hand is much better. Put back the Lórien Revealed. I can fetch green if I really need to. I have Source to Plowshares. Is that Domain that plays that? Just gonna play Tamiyo. They're gonna have to waste their turn 2 to remove her. I'm happy with that. Savai Triome. Is this Control? I used to play Savai Triome in... Yeah, this is Control. We're playing as Control here. Because I remember I used to play Savai Triome in my blue-white Control deck with Leyline Binding. Savai Triome, Bant Triome for Domain. Very interesting. Let's just get... I don't think we actually need to surveil that. We're just going to get Spara's headquarters here. Fill out our colors. That's an Uro. I could try to resolve an Uro, but if I get Teferi on the crackback, I don't want that, so let's just play it slow. In Control, just play slow, play your resources. Oko is also a very good hit, though. We'll take an Oko. Again, they're probably... no, maybe they're just... Was I playing Savai Triome in Jeskai Control? I don't think I was, but they are definitely Jeskai Control. That's fine though. I think Swords Display gave them a bunch of life. If they want to tap low like that, I mean they don't have 1 mana binding because they don't have a green source. So yeah, they gain a lot of life. Now I get to Oko. Like they made the first move in the back and forth, right? I think I will. If I Uro, it gets swords, right? They definitely have swords up. If I Uro, it gets swords. Oko can't get swords. I think I'm gonna Oko and then tap out of mana drain though. Oh, I could ring. Oh, I'm gonna ring. Yeah, I'm gonna ring. I'm gonna ring. Unless they play Mana Tithe here. If they play Mana Tithe, they got me. Okay, they don't. Okay, there's the ring. So now I have a ring in play, so I'm currently ahead, but I'm tapped out. They have 1 turn to make magic happen here. Hero Dominaria, that's not bad. That is not bad. Tuck my ring? Hero of Dominaria, tuck my ring. Okay. Hero of Dominaria is not bad. Oko? Hero of Dominaria, huh? Okay. Yeah, there's the green source. So now they have Leyline Binding available. Been a board wipe. Temporary lockdown. I'm gonna counter that. They don't have counter magic available. They might have a Leyline Binding, but I wanna. I'm gonna counter this. So do I need more green or more white? I'm gonna go for more white. They definitely can't counter back, but they might have like some weird tech cards. Oh, he's laughing at that. I mean, he might have a removal spell, but that's fine. I think I have to do that. I have to at least punish it, you know? Alright, let's brainstorm here for something. See if we can hit something. The One Ring is good. Nulldrifter is actually really good, but Nulldrifter is a creature. They're a deck built on being able to remove creatures. So let's not get too hasty here. Okay, let's see. We can One Ring and Uro. I think I want to hold the Boseiju for like a Leyline Binding. So let's put Stifle and Nulldrifter back. Let's play this One Ring. That resolves. Draw a card. Let's attack Teferi. Here it comes. Solitude hardcast. Okay. Oh no, well not hardcast, pitchcast. They pitched another Solitude for the Solitude. Oh, they're cooked. Stifle. Stifle's gonna cook them here. They are not ready for this. They are not ready for this. Oh no. Oh no, guys. They're not ready. Stifled the Solitude trigger. Solitude just dies. Teferi dies. Massive exchange for us. Absolutely insane exchange for us. And now we could Boseiju, but I'm not going to. I don't need to Boseiju here. That's an amazing exchange for us. We love that. Back up Teferi. That's fine. They can tuck something, but they have to basically have to draw a card, right? Okay. Untap 2 lands. I could all in and attack Teferi with the One Ring as well. That would be like an all-in play. Make sure Teferi dies or draw more cards. I think cards are more important in this matchup. Cards are more important. Play Monumental Henge. Oh, no, hold on, cancel. Make a food. Attack Teferi. I'm gonna Uro. They counterspell the front half of Uro. Very interesting. Waste of counter magic, in my opinion, but you do you. That's fine. Teferi dies next turn, most likely. Yeah, Teferi most likely dies here, but they can still draw a card, so they're not out of the. They're not dead yet. They could have put a board wipe on top or something. I don't know. Supreme Verdict. Okay, that's Supreme Verdict. That's not bad. And they can see because Teferi's dead. Okay. That was like, again, this game, it was close because they found multiple Teferis. But, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Again, when you're in a control mirror, regardless of what colors your control deck is built on, if you're playing against control, the first person to make a move will usually lose the game. And it sounds counterintuitive because if you're the first to make a move, your opponent should die, right? But that's not actually how it works. So on turn 4, they tapped out basically because they only had one land available that doesn't produce blue. They tapped out for a Flage. That let me One Ring, which made it so their Teferi has to minus to answer my One Ring, and they had to tap out. That lets me Oko and pressure the Teferi, which means they are tapped out, and again, they can't do anything. They have to now cast a temporary lockdown, which I can counter. I gain mana from that, again, because they have to answer my Oko, right? Then I plus on my coup, attack their Teferi, kill it. They have to retaliate with another Teferi to make up for the card advantage loss. In the meantime, off of that mana drain, I was able to resolve another One Ring. You see how it spiraled out of control for them? I just had too many permanents in play that were just doing something because they tapped out first. If they just bluff counterspell that whole game and we're just in a drawing contest and waiting to see who goes for it first, the game might look completely different. But they decided to go first. Also, yeah, they exiled another Solitude there, Solitude. So yeah, they're on a very traditional I'm about to say Boros. Jeskai deck with Flage. I like temporary lockdown. Again, as I said about Pedro last video, I like the idea. I like that people are understanding in this current format I have to wipe the board on turn 3. I like that. I just don't understand why we're still not playing Wrath of the Skies. Is Wrath of the Skies not just the best option? Like, just put a little energy package in your deck and play Wrath of the Skies, in my opinion. Like, maybe like 2 Static Prisons, or 2 the Narratives, or 2 Galvanic Discharge. Anything that just generates a little energy, and then you have Wrath of the Skies as your 3 mana or 2 mana board wipe. But yeah, Prismatic Ending, interesting choice. And yeah, they're probably playing Leyline Bindings, which that's why you would play Sabai Triumph with a Hedge Maze. Me personally, I prefer playing just a Bant Triumph and a Sabai Triumph. I think those are that's better than having a Surveiller and that can't produce white in your Jeskai deck. But yeah, I mean, personal preference is personal preference. This game, they mostly lost it because, well, two reasons. Obviously, they tapped out for Flage, but then also the One Ring is a stronger engine than Teferi, unfortunately. I prefer Teferi, but the One Ring is stronger. Just the raw card advantage that the One Ring provides you. If we both had Teferis instead of me having a One Ring, I'd be at one card in hand right now too. But the One Ring drew me so many cards, so that's just how it goes. Anyway, next game. Okay, we go first. This hand is Tapland City into 4-drop City. I don't think this is worth to keep. I think we can mulligan once. This hand is probably better, I'll have to say. Don't know what we're playing against, but we go first so we can sculpt towards something good. I think I do want to keep double mana drain. I'll probably put the breeding pool back at the bottom. Oh, there we go. Start with a Flooded Strand, pass the turn. Probably going to fetch Meticulous Archive here. We're against some kind of monocolor deck. Birds of Paradise. I usually only see that in like land destruction decks. Let's hope that's not what they're on. Gonna put that away. Tune the narrative. Right, I'm just gonna play a fetch land and see what they go for here. Don't usually like people tapping with Birds of Paradise. Yep, that looks like Gruul land destruction to me. Yep. The usual. Alright, well. We're in for a ride. Mana drain that. Hopefully draw a land. Not the land I meant, but that's okay. We're gonna play the One Ring. We are gonna have to be okay with losing our Uro straight to the grave. That's nice. We're gonna have to be okay with losing our white source here because they probably have another land destruction effect. Never mind, fear of missing out. That is good for us. That's really good for us. I hope they keep that up. Because now we can tune into potentially hitting a white source and wipe the board. That would be sick. So tune the narrative into a white source. There it is. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Alright, tune narrative into a white source. Then for 0 mana into this. This is why you should play Wrath of the Skies over any other 3 mana board wipe. It's so good. It's just like, you're barely hurting your deck by putting tune the narratives into it, and you just wipe the board for 2 mana and hold up mana drain. It's so beautiful. So they're like now, they're pretty far behind now. Because next we just start bringing back Uros. Fear of missing out. Do I care? Do I care? Probably not. I'll probably find a removal spell for it. Yeah, that's extra combat steps, but I don't care. They're definitely a Blood Moon deck because you can see they're playing a lot of basics. They would also... Chandra. Interesting. Okay. That's probably how they try to win the game, I suppose. Right, let's just untap. Let's draw a bunch of cards. Interesting that I didn't find a board, like a removal spell for this. I could Uro. Like, I could graveyard Uro, but then I wouldn't have a counterspell available. I think I'm gonna hand Uro. No, wait. Yeah, if I graveyard Uro, I'll only have white, blue available. If I hand Uro, I can have 3 mana available. I want this One Ring for 1 more turn, I think. Let's put a Tapland into play so I can Brainstorm. Alright, let's see what they do here. They do get 2 combats, but I'm not too worried about that. I'll probably counter anything that would like... They would need like a haste threat or something. Like 4 damage, whatever. I don't mind. I have Uros. I'm about to One Ring anyway. Yeah, thanks to Uro, we're starting to get a big mana advantage to where their land destruction part of the deck doesn't even do anything anymore. So yeah, that's fine. Blood Moon is obviously still pretty bad for us, but we have counterspell available right now. Just a Bone Crusher just to get the job done. So I could either mana drain this, and I think I will, because if I mana drain this, I get to reset my ring next turn. Then dig for removal spells for this fear of missing out. At this point, they're really far behind. We get another white source here while I surveil. Just looking for a removal spell here. Like, anything will do. Just looking for a removal spell here. I'm not even going to put the Mystic on top. Still no removal spell. Okay. I could stifle in a Nulldrifter. I could play another ring. I have a lot of options. Gonna put a mana drain on top. Take action. Gonna play this one ring. I think I will stifle in a Nulldrifter. Hold full control. Stifle in a Nulldrifter. Auto pay. Do another stifle, nice. Stifle the trigger. Auto pay. There we go. Let go full control. And then I have a bunch of cards I need to discard. Probably just discard like two brainstorms so I don't need them anymore. Now I have a Nulldrifter in play. Now they're gonna have to start sacrificing a permanent every turn if they let this untap. If they let me untap with this. Fury. I have to let Fury resolve here because if they have Blood Moon as their second card, I'm probably cooked. Because I don't have my forest. If they have blood, yeah, I have to let this resolve. I can't let them resolve a Blood Moon here. That's fine. If they just kill my Nulldrifter, I have full protection. They can't even attack me this turn. I'm fine with that. I could stifle that if I have one more mana, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna protect myself from Blood Moon here. I don't want to lose to a Blood Moon. Sure, attack me. That's fine. Like, I could have, like, done that. But, like, I don't know, man. I'd rather just not. I'd rather not get Blood Moon. Play a land. Pass a turn. That's cool. Another mana drain. Now we just start going to town with Ura, right? Take out that. Take out that in case they're, like, a Tarmogoyf deck. Oh, there's the Swiss Plush as well, so we're doing good here. Kill that. We have another land drop? Yeah, we do. That's double mana drain available. I don't have to tap this ring. I have enough cards. They're just dead here. I don't think there is a singular card in their deck that's gonna be worth it here. Let's spree this. Let's create a token copy of Uro, just a cantrip.
That's simply not possible.
Discard a card, let's discard the Hallowed Fountain, and they're dead. That's what I meant with spree. This is the first time on the channel you've seen me actually multi-spree a 3 steps ahead. It's just a lot of value, really. It's just a lot of value. We're gonna discard. I was gonna discard the land, but then I realized I got another Uro trigger, so I wouldn't have. I would have discarded like anything else, probably like the Solitude because I don't need it anymore, or the One Ring because I don't need it anymore. Then Uro triggers. I draw another card, gain more life. Put this land into play. I keep this Uro because it can attack. I attack. I do the whole thing again. Then I can play Oko. I can even attack with the One Ring with Oko if I want to. I have a Stifle available. Obviously they didn't end up having that Blood Moon, but the reason I let my Nulldrifter die is that in the moment, they had to pitch cast a Fury to deal with my Nulldrifter, right? In the moment, yeah, I'm losing Nulldrifter, but then I just realized I'm already so ahead on board. I don't care about losing Nulldrifter. I have One Ring protection, so I don't even take damage from the fear of missing out. So let the Nulldrifter die. Make sure they can't hit a Blood Moon, which is the only thing this game that could somehow turn this around is if they Blood Moon me. So yeah, that's just, again, I think I just played that tight. Obviously, having the read in the early game that they are on land destruction and holding up a mana drain instead of deploying something, that's also like just format knowledge. But yeah, this video you guys got to see some pretty cool diverse decks. No neutral spells, no Serentale. I like that. If this was how Timeless always is, I would actually enjoy the format a lot. A lot more than I do. Obviously, I enjoy the format, but I'd enjoy it a lot more than I do. Anyway, and we are back for the post-game chat. And this deck feels good. Stifle feels pretty good. Didn't stifle a lot of fetch lands, to be very honest with you. But just stifling like a key planeswalker activation or a removal spell on a permanent that triggers. Pretty good stuff, honestly. But then again, the cool thing about Stifle in this deck is that you don't really need to stifle your opponent's stuff because you're mostly using Stifle to cheat your own stuff into play. Stifling in an Uro, stifling in a Nulldrifter, stifling in a Solitude. All these plays, they work off your own stuff. So the card isn't like dead. It's never dead because you're using it on your own permanents, which is really nice. That being said, you could probably build a pure blue-white version of this with more Nulldrifters, maybe more Tamiyos or something, Teferi Time Ravelers or something. But yeah, I really like the Uro Stifle package. I think Uro is just a very good card in general. Obviously, very powerful, got banned in multiple formats. Just the life gain and card draw just makes people who care about your life total are just so far behind once you resolve an Uro for the first time, second time, third time. When it starts attacking, it's just over really. So yeah, great stuff. Obviously, Oko being Oko, just this is like just the most broken but underrated card in Magic, in my opinion. It's like you don't understand how broken Oko is until you've played against or played with Oko. Like this card is just so like it's so like it's so weird too because its abilities don't even seem that good. But like and this is crazy. This sounds crazy, but like think of it this way: creating a food token, how relevant is that? Turning something into an elk, it doesn't technically remove it, right? But then if you think about it, just invalidating any creature or artifact on the battlefield while also creating an army of your own, it's just so good, man. It's so good. Oko would be broken even if he didn't have his ultimate. That's just crazy to me. But yeah. That being said, yeah, pretty simple, pretty stable deck. Otherwise, just a one ring mana drain deck as per usual. And yeah, that's pretty much the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let's go open a pack. All right, we're back with some more degenerate gambling today. I have an 8th edition pack that I got for free from leveling up, and I have a Mythic Outlaws of Thunder Judgment pack because I am chasing a certain Mythic card in that set. And you shouldn't do this, by the way. You shouldn't buy Mythic packs just to chase a certain Mythic. I'm doing it for the memes, for the content. But yeah, let's get it. And we're gonna get guaranteed wild because we're opening 2 packs here. So let's see what we get in this pack. Oh, we got a Mythic card in this pack. We got Hazard, Godseeker. I don't think this card is good, but Indestructible Haste, start your engines. Target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. Hazard can't attack or block unless you have max speed. Pretty slow. Again, it's a 4-turn mechanic. You need at least 4 turn cycles before before start your engines can possibly be max speed. So funny. The meme is it's ironic that a mechanic about speed is one of the slowest mechanics ever added to Magic. So yeah, whatever. Let's go to the next pack. OTJ Mythic pack. We got a Mythic and a Rare, and we got a Rare wildcard from here. 2 Mythic. Oh, another Rest in Peace. That's good. That's good. I was thinking of making a Rest in Peace deck. Wait, hold on. Wait, in a Mythic pack, when you get the dual slots, are they both Mythic? Is that how it works in a Mythic pack? I thought it's just one guaranteed Mythic. Are these slots both guaranteed to be Mythic? In that case, Mythic packs might be worth. Because obviously in certain packs you can get a dual revealed card, right? And if that is double Mythic in Mythic packs, that's worth as hell. Anyway, Rest in Peace is good. This is like my 3rd copy of Rest in Peace, I believe. That means I can now play a pretty consistent blue-white Rest in Peace control deck. So yeah, that's nice. And let's see what we got here. Mindbreak Trap. This is a cool sideboard card against like combo decks. Basically, it's a 4 mana exile any spell number of spells on the stack. So it counters anything, even things that can't be countered, because it exiles the spells instead of countering them. But for 4 mana, that's not really worth it. However, if an opponent casts 3 or more spells this turn, you can pay 0 rather than pay its mana cost. So it's basically a free counterspell. Very popular in like older formats like Vintage. It's even played in Legacy as a sideboard tool. But obviously in Timeless, you're not often seeing people cast their 3rd spell in Timeless. Doesn't really happen. Like, maybe sometimes, but even like Dark Ritual Sorin isn't a 3rd spell. And when it matters in the Phoenix matchup, you don't actually care about the 3rd spell. It's the Phoenixes that come back that are as bad. And the Buried Alive is usually the second spell they cast because they do Dark Ritual Buried Alive into a free spell on turn 1. That's how Phoenix does that thing. So Mindbreak Trap doesn't have a lot of hits. It can obviously work with like a It can work. The cool thing about Mindbreak is if you play in the sideboard of a deck and you play against Show and Tell, it can exile their spells when you're tapped out into a Veil of Summer. Like, Veil of Summer doesn't stop this effect because you're exiling the spells, not countering them. So yeah, Mindbreak Trap, not a bad card. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Other than that, not much to say today. Pretty much said everything I want to say last video. Yeah, we're just growing our channel. We're getting there. We are at like 710 subs right now. So 290 away from 1K. That's going to be a big number. 1K, that means you get monetization, you get ad revenue and stuff like that. For 1K, because that's a big milestone, I'll be doing a Budget Teferi cosplay. So if you want to see me, you know, twist time, be there for 1K. So yeah, I'll do a Budget Teferi cosplay. I don't know what I'll actually end up doing with the Budget Teferi cosplay, whether I'll do like more of a like IRL video type stuff, walk you around my town or something. But that's kind of embarrassing. Or if I just play Magic. I think I will just play Magic and a Budget Teferi cosplay. For what was it? I forgot what milestone I set myself. When I do the expensive Teferi cosplay, I'll actually like go to London and do like a paper Magic gameplay thing. But yeah, that's way off in the future. For now, we're working towards 1,000. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys so much for all your support. Really appreciate it. Yeah, leave me a comment if you liked anything in this video. If you want to see something. I played Bant today because someone commented that they wanted to see Bant. So there it was. Anyway, I'm the Control Guy. I hope you enjoyed this video and I bid you all farewell. Peace.